Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
Good morning, good morning. It is the Fishing in Florida Show. Hope you are enjoying this beautiful morning that we are here in South Florida. Was out this morning with the dog. Nice, cool, crisp air. The humidity hasn't kicked in yet. And just a wonderful way to start out the day. Looks like it's going to be a little windy today, so maybe a little rough on the water. In the meantime, before I get into all of that, let me introduce you to my co-host, and that is Carolyn. Carolyn is with Atlas Trax, and if you want to protect what you love to the max, you got to talk to my friend Carolyn at Atlas Trax. Good morning, my dear.
Good morning. Happy Sunday to our listeners.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you, did you get to do any fishing this last week?
I did not get to do any fishing, but I was talking to our other cohort, Angelia, the salty cowgirl, and for a moment I was going to jump in my car yesterday and run down to Key Largo and fish with her, but something just happened and we didn't get to get together, but I keep threatening.
Well, I didn't get to do any fishing this last week, but we kind of roamed around, and I don't know what kind of fish this is. It looks, I don't know if there is such a thing as a carp up here where we're at, but there were these, when I walk my dog, I have a park that's just up the street from me, and of course there's water everywhere here in Florida, and there's a small canal that leads to a huge lake. And so we walk down by the canal, see the ducks, kind of visit the ducks. He likes to terrorize the ducks, so we'll go down there and visit with the ducks for a few moments. And I noticed this last couple of times there is this, it's enormous, whatever this thing is. It's got to be about at least 20 or 25 pounds. This thing is pretty big, several of them, and they appear to be, I call them carp, but I don't know, they might not be that. Every once in a while, if we have some bread to go stale or something, I take it down there and I throw it in the water. Well, we happen to have some bread, I threw it in the water. They just laughed at it, so I don't know what it was, but it would have been certainly an interesting catch if we could have caught one of them. Big stuff. You have any idea what that might be?
You know what? I'm not sure. Are they kind of gulping air off the top, or you see them at the bottom, or
they were right
the surface with a big mouth?
Right at the shoreline, and it appered to be eating like grass. That's why I thought it might be carp. And they definitely weren't mullet. I know what a mullet looks like. This is not a mullet.
Yeah, I think there's some catfish that are in some of those canals too. Depending on
this
how furry
one
their little faces were.
Didn't have the head of a catfish. Yeah, it didn't have the head of a cat. It had the head of a almost like a shiner, but on a larger. That's what it kind of looked like, almost like what we call shiner, but on a much bigger scale. Yeah, I'd never seen them in there before. Big, huge things. It'd be nice to find out what it is.
I'll tell you what, I just looked up a carp, and it's about 16 to 31 inches, and it kind of looks like what you described. It is sort of a murky water fish, so that might be good.
Wow. Well, who knows? Maybe we see. There's all kinds of stuff in the water around here.
Just so you know, it says they're good to eat. Just bring that telescoping fishing rod next time.
There you go. I still carry one of them in the car with me, along with a real small miniature tackle box, just in case I get I drive by because I'm all over the place. Sometimes I'm as far south as Fort Lauderdale and as far north as up in Vero. I had to go up to Vero one time. And so I'll be driving along. If I happen to see a lake that looks interesting and I'm done with the call for the moment, I'll take a 20-minute break and go see if I can bring anything up.
That's a lot of fun, and I do the same thing. I've got a little folding chair. I've got a couple rubber lures that every once in a while I get poked in. I don't have a tackle box, but they poke me in my fingers every once in a while when I'm reaching for something else. And typically a little bait net just in case. But you never know. You could stop just anywhere and get up there and just throw a line for a few minutes, get a little sun on your face, and see what happens.
Yeah, you never know. Well, guess who we have on the line this morning? Now we have Trae. Trae is with the Big Dog Tackle, and he's going to give us a little bit of input about what's happening in his neck of the woods. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning, Trae. This is early for you.
Yeah. Yeah, we went fishing yesterday, so the day after, older you get, the harder it is to get up the next day.
Oh.
It's almost like when you used to go out to the bars as a young, 20-year-old. Fishing drink takes a toll on you.
So we've graduated from drinking to driving ourselves crazy by going fishing.
It's old age. It's old age.
Welcome to my world, my friend. So you went fishing. Did you catch anything? Where did you go?
We went right offshore off of Deerfield Beach and Boca.
And what did you find?
We started off our first drift, ended up really nice. We had 2 sailfish,
Wow,
a kingfish, and a dolphin.
nice.
And
Wow.
we caught a couple of dolphin, a couple of tuna, and 3 or 4 kings, and we went 2 for 4 on the sailfish.
Yeah, it's been kind of windy out here. It wasn't windy where you were yesterday?
Oh, it was pretty choppy out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you survived. That's why you're all beat up today.
Yeah. The ride back was a little bumpy because the wind was coming out of the southeast, so it wasn't too bad heading north, but coming back south, it was a little rougher.
Wow.
Yeah, what kind of vessel were you at? What kind of boat?
We were on the world famous meat wagon, 34 CV.
Oh my.
Well, if you're going to be in conditions like that, the CV's the way to go.
Yeah, definitely a nice boat, and it handles really well.
You know, I failed to ask you this morning, Carolyn. I know you look at the different monitors that are out there, different cams, and are you looking at the ocean this morning?
Oh, you know I am. 3 birds just flew right by my view. Like the wind's from the southeast again. It looks like it's building up a little bit on the beach. I love the Lauderdale by the Sea cams, the Hilton cams. It's great to look at those, especially the Hillsborough Inlet cam. You can see the boats going out, but it's almost as good as being there.
Oh, great. So, Trae, what have you got planned for? I know you're working. I mean, that's kind of default for you. If you're talking to Trae, he's
7 days.
What have you got planned for the day? Any specials going on?
Today, what do we got going on? We're just getting a lot of new products in. We have, besides the fishing tackle, we have apparel for the entire family, and we're getting a lot of new stuff in. And with the apparel side, which I'm a fisherman, but Nicole has a retail background, so they change their styles a couple times a year with the season. So it's pretty cool. You're always getting new stuff in. Sometimes the fishing lures stay the same, but the rest of it changes.
Yeah, I didn't know didn't know you had apparel. You have to talk to Carolyn. She's got apparel too.
Oh yeah, I know.
Absolutely. And the location of Big Dog Tackle is perfect. It's on the corner of Federal Highway and 14th Street in Pompano Beach. So anytime you drive by, you almost have a view of 2 sides of their building. And I could tell you all their beautiful new bikinis are hanging in the window. Yeah, you laugh. I'm a stalker of your store. So not only am I
don't forget the Speedos for the guys.
Oh my!
Yeah.
Did we have to go there?
This year there hasn't been a lot of Canadians, but those Northerners, they like to get skinny on the bikini.
My eyes.
Case, they can always
poor
pick
eyes.
up a lady's large bottom.
That's too much.
I know you do sell the tops and bottoms separate, but I'll tell you, Big Dog Tackle not only has 2 beautiful boxers when you walk in the puppies when you walk in the door. They've got beautiful apparel, clothes for men and women and kids, even little onesies for UV, plus all the gear. I mean, it's like a field trip. So if you ever go to that store, plan on staying an hour and a half.
Yeah. Well, what's really nice is that now that a lot of people are getting the corona vaccines, people are loosening up, and they're heading to the Bahamas now, and they've been doing the wahoo fishing, but even bigger this time of year, the yellowfin bite has kicked off.
Oh my!
For the yellowfin tunas on the other side.
You mentioned the wahoo. I think it was this last week. I think it was. I saw an article. 100-pound wahoo was caught on Gino's. I think it was Gino's, and I can't think of his yacht, his vessel's name, the something V, and 101 pound. Can you imagine what that would do to the average person's tackle It would literally shred the average person's tackle. I don't know what they caught it on, but they were able to bring it in and picture this thing. It was about, I don't know, gosh, it was as big as the guy who was standing next to it, at least 6 feet. This thing was huge.
I saw that picture. And the girth on the fish was huge.
Yeah.
It looked like it was a torpedo out of a submarine.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Could you imagine what it would be like to, I think the largest I've ever caught was a baby, like, I don't know, 25, 30 pounds. And it drove my tackle crazy. I couldn't imagine something like that. Oh, my gosh. That would have been very exciting. Very, very exciting.
Yeah.
What is...
Well, it's funny you say that. It's funny you say that about the tackle because a very popular method of fishing is kite fishing. Right. And that tackle tends to be lighter weight, like 20-pound gear.
Mm-hmm.
But this time of year, even on our coastline, big yellowfins and even bluefins are coming through, and you always hear of, anglers getting spooled on a rod because that yellowfin or a bluefin hit their bait, and they just didn't have the heavy tackle to handle it.
Or you're not, you may have the tackle and you're not prepared, or you don't have the drag set right, and all of a sudden you got a bird nest in front of you.
Yeah, that too.
I have to tell you my wahoo story. What got me hooked on fishing, and I'm going to sound like a man when I say this, but March 29th, 1998, I caught my first wahoo, and it was on stand-up gear. The entire reel was filled with wire line, you can only imagine how heavy that was. And I was sore for 4 days, and the guys I was fishing with laughed at me the entire time because they knew what they were putting me on.
Oh, my
I had
gosh.
no idea, and it got me hooked. So,
wow.
That was, now the gear's a little bit spooled a little bit differently than that, but that was one heavy, heavy, heavy fish.
How long did it take you to get that into the boat?
Yeah, that was a good 45-minute fight, and I was sore for 4 days. So that was what got me hooked. And here, I just looked up quick on the internet for our listeners. The largest wahoo ever caught, 202 pounds.
My
off the coast
goodness!
of Palm Beach.
Wow. Oh my gosh, I can't even. We were talking about spooling a minute ago, and I remember Trae said that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Trae said that if you take your stuff to him, he'll spool it up. Am I right?
Yeah, for sure. So if you get attacked by one of those monster wahoo or yellowfin and come back with no line, we can definitely take care of you.
See, I love that. That's one of the things that just drives me crazy. Trying to get the line on the reel with the right kind of tension. That's the trick. I can get it on there all right without any problem, but I typically get it on with the wrong kind of tension, and when I go out fishing, it just starts to fall off the reel because I put too much tension on it. And so that really is a giant headache saver. If you've got somebody that knows how to do it, got the equipment to do it for you, oh my gosh, that alone would get me to go visit Trae.
Sure.
Well, I'll tell you.
And
go ahead, Trae.
Yeah, we'll help you. We'll help you get it set up right. And if you don't fully understand or need help tying a knot, we even we'll sit there and help you learn some knots and learn how to rig things up.
You know what's really funny? When you fish with somebody else on somebody else's gear, you don't really know how much mono they have attached to something else. And I was lucky enough to fish on the 37 CV Fantasy. I'm sure you know those guys in Palm Beach. And we hooked up to something big, and they handed me the reel, and it was spooling us. And I of course, I kept saying, "Do we have enough? Do we have enough? Do we have enough? Do we have enough?" They're like, yeah. I'm like, do we have enough now? Do we have enough now? And finally, it was a big shark that we broke off, and we got most of the line back. But I just saw that peeling out, and I started seeing down to the bottom, and I'm like, do we have enough line? Do we have enough line? Like, don't worry about it. So I know what you mean. So
is that what you had on the line? Was a shark?
We never really knew. It pulled really hard, really heavy. The cobia were biting that day. So I'm not sure if it was a shark or a real big cobia that went deep, but we did have a bull shark hanging around the bottom of the boat who's kind of at the surface. So not really sure what it was. We're going to go with either shark or a big shark or cobia.
Wow. Went shark fishing one time in my life, and we didn't bring the shark in. It was a mako. We got to see it a couple times. They gave me the rod. I'm not kidding you. I lasted maybe 5-10 minutes at the most. It was like pulling on a car. It was I thought we had the bottom, but the captain laughed at me. He said, we're like in 1,000 feet of water. We're not on the bottom. I go, well, it's not moving. He goes, yeah, it's a big fish.
So, when you mentioned sharks, we were out there yesterday and we actually had 3 fish on at the same time at one point.
Oh my gosh!
And the first one that hit, it was a billfish where I'm pretty sure it's a sailfish, but the way it took so much line, you never know if it was a small marlin. But the sailfish, I mean, we saw a couple of them. They looked really big yesterday, and it just kept taking line and taking line and taking line, and we had a second one on, and we lost the first one because it, like Carolyn said, it got the spool all the way down to almost nothing, and we had a braid backing even on top of it.
Wow.
But the second sailfish we got to the boat was a smaller guy, and as we were bringing him closer to the boat, there was a bull shark underneath following him.
Mm.
So when you say sharks, the sharks are getting pretty thick out there, even down here. Everybody talks about Jupiter, but even in Broward, they're getting really thick now.
Wow. Is it shark? What do they call it when they move from one place? I can't say.
Migration?
Yeah. Is it migration season?
I'm not sure. I know there's a time of year where they migrate.
Really, yeah.
There's literally thousands of them.
Yeah, I've seen pictures. It's kind of scary because there's people in the water, and they're not very far from the people. So I would not want to be in the water with all them guys. Not my preferred swimming hole.
And let me tell you, those hammerheads. We were out also on that CV Fantasy, and a hammerhead was chasing one of my live baits, and it was amazing how fast those can spin around. You don't think they're very agile with those big heads on them, but it was crazy. And again, one of those things. I'm like, no, not my bait. No, not my bait. No, not my bait. So
instead of fishy, it's get away. Just the opposite.
Right.
What seems to be the popular bait right now, Trae?
Popular bait. Well, I'll tell you one that's a really effective bait, and a lot of people probably don't use it, is a Spro jig head with 2 more hooks attached to it. So it's like 3 hooks in a row. And the Spro jig head is like a jig head with, if you ever seen like the feathers, like the white feathers that come off of them.
Mm-hmm.
So you have 3 hooks and you put a sardine on it or a ballyhoo. So we were fishing those off our flatline side, and we caught a sailfish, we caught a kingfish, and we caught a dolphin on the Spro jig head.
Wow.
And that's just a dead bait. So a lot of people, they fish only live bait when they're out there fishing kites and flatlines. But it doesn't hurt to throw out something a little different.
So this was, I heard you say dead bait, and were you fishing it off a kite, or were you dragging it? What were you doing with the bait?
Yeah. So the jig heads have different weights to them, whether it's 1 ounce, 2 ounce, 3 ounce, 4 ounces. So they're weighted. So we just drift them off the backside. So they sink down a little bit depending on the weight.
Yeah.
And if you want to drift multiple jig heads off the backside, you can go with different weights.
Wow.
So they'll drift at different depths so they won't get tangled.
Clever. Something so simple. I never even thought of something like that. Wow.
Very simple, very inexpensive, but very effective.
So you were using a kite as well?
Actually, we were fishing 3 kites.
Oh, my gosh. And now, I don't know a whole lot about all my kite education has come from Mike Simcoe. I don't know if you know who that is. He's one of our people who comes on regularly and has taught me quite a bit about kites. So what I understand is did you have 3 lines on each one?
3 lines on each one, so a total of 9 off.
Holy smokes, man! And how many people were on the crew?
There were 6 of us.
Okay, it's not too bad. 6 of you for 9 lines, that's not too bad. I mean, I'm thinking in my mind there's 2 or 3 people on the boat and you've got 9 lines out. I could just see what would happen with a multiple hit. All pandemonium break loose.
That wouldn't be possible.
Yeah, you know what's great when you have multi-species that hit. So you think you're all fighting sailfish, 1 dolphin, 1 sailfish, 1 kingfish. That's what's crazy fun. Because they all run and swim differently.
Wow.
when we had all those 3 on at the same time, we thought it was 3 sailfish, but it was 2 sailfish and a big kingfish.
How crazy is that?
Wow.
Wow.
That's awesome.
All right, my friend, we're up against a break. Before we go, give us a little information. Where are you? How do they find you? And everybody who's ever heard you before knows you're there 7 days a week. So I was going to say, give us your hours.
Either me or Nicole are there.
I was going to say, give us your hours, but I was going to say, if you're awake, he's there.
Pretty much. We open at 6 a.m. 7 days a week, including Sundays, and we close around 8 o'clock every day, except for Sundays. We close 2 hours early at 6 o'clock.
I don't know how you do it.
We're in Pompano Beach, the corner of Federal Highway and 14th Street Causeway. And we also have our online store now at BigDogTackle.com.
Great. All right. Congratulations. That's excellent.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
Super exciting. Absolutely, Trae. If you want me to bring some stuff up to this big trade show on Thursday, I'll swing by and grab it.
Yeah, that should be fun.
Well, thank you, Trae. We greatly appreciate it. I'll be looking forward to hearing some more from you in the future. In the meantime, don't go away.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Scala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped, even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion: air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Leiza Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Clubb, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Clubb has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclubb.com. That's www.susanclubb.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Clubb. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878.
GTG, BRB, OMW, be there in a few. You may think that these kinds of texts are fine because of their length, and you can easily send them at a stoplight. But no, answering one text can take your attention away from the road for 5 seconds. And traveling at 55 miles an hour, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Make good decisions, don't text and drive.
While other stations just talk a good game, we win it.
Hey, sounds like somebody's having a lot of fun.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing in Florida where the sun shines all day. It just caught me a grouper. So I'm fishing in Florida. Oh yeah. It's
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, we are back. It is Fishing in Florida Show. I get a kick out of doing this show in the morning. A couple of reasons. It always reminds me of how my family enjoyed fishing. In a sense, to me, I was very fortunate because my mom loved to go fishing, so it was not. It was a common thing for us to be fishing, typically on the weekends and 3 or 4 times a month. And every time I think about it, it's a fond memory. I believe it was a way that our family, it held our family together, if you will. One of the components of holding the family together, which has been under attack for so many years, now more than ever. And I enjoy being able to actually learn. I've learned quite a bit about fishing since we started doing the show. But I think now we're going into 4 years. My gosh, it's gone by pretty quick. But I've learned quite a bit. When I first heard of kite fishing, I had seen people kite fishing, and I always thought that was kind of silly. You know, just ignorant of me, not to understand what was going on. And found out that kite fishing, my goodness, it raises your chances exponentially. As Trae mentioned, they had 3 kites out there, 3 lines per kite. That's 9 lines. You can have some deep, you can have some shallow. You're just covering a wide area and a range of depths of water. Again, things that I have learned. Now, some people have known that all along, but for people like me, and I do the show for people like me who want to learn, who want to know more, and to help promote fishing. If you've listened to the show at all, you know that I'm a heavy promoter, particularly of lady anglers, because of my mom, God bless her. I think that's a vital component. If you're a couple and your boyfriend, or sometimes it's the other way around, the girlfriend or the wife, or your husband, if one of the two is always doing something without the other one, it tends to not help in the glue of the relationship, if you will. So if you're both doing the same thing at the same time, you're both enjoying each other's company, it helps add to that glue, if you will, to the relationship. In the meantime, let me bring back my co-host. If you want to protect what you love to the max, who are you going to talk to? Carolyn at Atlas Trax. Welcome back, Miss Carolyn.
Well, thank you, Riscala, and I like that little piece you just said. And I have to tell you, I mean, you promote lady anglers and small business all the time, and we all appreciate it. But let me tell you something fun that the girls did. Myself and Wanda and Terry and a bunch of the other gals, we finally put together and learned how to do a Zoom meeting, and we chit-chatted about fishing. It was so funny on Wednesday for about an hour and a half and how to support each other. And no men were allowed. It was so funny. We just all were chit-chatting, talking about redfish and what house, who we were going to go visit first and how we were going to get together. And there was a gal on there that was a big bluefin tuna fisherman from San Diego. But it was really cool to have our own little ladies chit-chat about fishing. It was awesome.
Yeah, one of the people that we have on semi-regularly is Betty Bowman. Betty with Ladies Let's Go Fishing. She, somebody that inspires me. She will work with the ladies to teach them literally, show them what a hook is, how a hook works, to how to cook the fish, and everything in between. And I think it's great that we have people like that, because there are people who are. I was ignorant at one time, and I mean, it takes, it's a learning. Life is a learning process. So if you are not into learning, you're in for a rough ride. All right, let me bring on our next guest. That is Brett Fitzgerald, and Brett is with I think it was called the Lagoon event. Do you remember that, Carolyn, where they had a special tournament in one of the lakes here, Lake Ida, I think it was. He'll correct me here in a minute. Anyway, he's going to give us an update. The event is over, but we're going to get an update as to what's going on and some new ideas. Well, good morning, my friend.
Good morning. It's good to talk to you again.
Good morning. Happy Sunday, Brett.
How are you today?
He's just waking up like you are, Carolyn.
Yeah, you sound like us.
No, actually, I just need to wear glasses. I looked at the message to call you guys, and I thought it was 8:45. So I'm just kind of putzing around doing my morning thing. I'm like, I got a text saying, call in. I'm like, oh man, yeah, I'm a little behind. But yeah, you were pretty close to what you had here as far as what we were running. It was not in Lake Ida. It was in the Lake Wirth Lagoon.
Oh, okay.
So, which is, Lake Ida actually is a great little fishery too. But the Lake Wirth Lagoon, of course, is much bigger. And there's a lot of interesting things going on with that lagoon, with the intertidal stuff coming in and the different fish that come in and out, and the history that we've had with the fish in the lagoon here. But it did end. We had our winter Lagoon Challenge is what it's called, where my foundation, the Angler Action Foundation, partners up with Palm Beach County Environmental Resources in a great government, private-public partnership where they really get out there and push hard with their staff to get recreational anglers involved in this free event. And they hustle up for prizes, which is great. That's all the stuff that's never fun to do when you're trying to put an event together, is go around asking people for things. The county handled all that. But it was a great winter challenge, and the whole purpose of it was just to see where in the lagoon people were fishing and what they were catching, so they could capture some information on the effectiveness of the tens of millions of dollars that the taxpayers' money has gone towards habitat restoration inside the lagoon. So, in other words, they want to quantify, are these mangrove islands that we put in doing more than just looking good? Are people catching more fish per hour, more different species, spending more time, spending more money in our local economies because of these restoration projects? So this was the 5th Lagoon Challenge event, and it was the first one that took place in the wintertime. And it was really, so we were expecting to see different results. As you know, as fishers down here, we get different species that come through different times of year. So one of the things that we were always concerned about in talking, initially with people that really think about these things, like Tom Twyford, the director of the West Palm Beach Fishing Club. I remember one of the first things he said about this was, we need to know what people are catching in the winter as well, because like bluefish and some other fish come in and they use different types of habitat, and we don't want to go out there. We need to know where they are so that we don't go out there and ruin current habitats because we don't realize that it's being used for something productive by a fishery. So it was really great to see what we might catch over the winter. And it was really interesting results. We had about 140 anglers.
Wow.
And over that 2-week period, they caught 65 different species inside the lagoon. We had almost 750 fish reported.
Wow. And
of those, we had almost 100 snook were caught. A couple permit were caught inside the lagoon. All this stuff takes place inside the Lake Wirth Lagoons, not along the beaches. We had some youth anglers that really did well. They caught, this is really what it's about. We had a handful of youth anglers that went out there and caught a lot of really neat fish. And one of them caught something called a southern sennet, which looks a lot like a barracuda, but there's only been maybe a half a dozen of biologists reporting a sennet anywhere along the eastern coast here, from here up the Indian River Lagoon, for the past 50 years.
Wow.
So we had 3 of those caught inside the lagoon, which really surprised the biologists.
Were most of these fishermen fishing by boat or by land?
It was a good mix. Some were fishing just on docks, some were fishing along the shoreline. There were kayak fishermen, there were boat fishermen, all walks of life, women and men and children. It was just a great mix of the population that were out there on the lagoon.
Brett,
so when I'm looking this up for our listeners, lagoon not meaning lake. This is basically a tidal area. It's getting flushed in from like Palm Beach Inlet. Is that correct?
Palm Beach Inlet and the Boynton Inlet. Yeah. So and that's the boundaries of the lagoon that runs a little bit south of the Boynton Inlet, and then on the north end all the way up towards PGA, and all that in between there. So like all the bridges that you run over to Palm Beach Island and down in Boynton, those bridges all span over the intercoastal, which is here, our Lake Wirth Lagoon.
So to refer to it as the intercoastal is the same as the lagoon? Am I right?
Here?
Yeah.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. Here, there's the same waters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know.
Now, this was, after 5 of these challenges now, we've had 99 different species caught inside the lagoon.
Holy smokes.
And they're really, really interesting numbers. And it was really neat to see. Now, who knows what the reasons for these things are, but I mentioned bluefish because that's a winter fish that we target here, typically along the beaches, but they definitely come inside the lagoon. I've caught them many times in the lagoon. And over the challenge, we actually had more bonefish caught inside the lagoon than bluefish. So, a fish that we think of as being this great exotic tropical game fish, a bonefish, which we hardly ever see around here, and bluefish, which sometimes you can catch them by the buckets full. We actually caught more bonefish in that challenge in the lagoon than we did bluefish. Really interesting results. I don't know what that means, but
I wanted to ask you how long did this go on? Because it wasn't just a day or two, right? It went on for a while.
Right. It was 2 weeks for the winter one, and that's a new thing because it usually runs for 6 weeks in the summertime. So, we're kind of thinking, we'll shorten them up, make it a little easier on the staff, more concentrated, and then we do them throughout the year instead of just in the summer. And so we will be doing it again.
The data that you collected, along with that data, were you getting these fish were caught at a particular time during the day and the tide? Were you collecting all of that as well?
So that information is captured. Now, when you get into that kind of detail, the app that we use to capture most of this data, it's called iAngler, and it's just basically a personal logbook for fishers. So it does automatically capture that information for you, the angler, but it's not compiled in a way, like we haven't pulled that stuff out to really look at it yet, because a lot of times fishermen don't pay attention to those things. And if they're just casual fishers and they're waiting till they get home to report their catch, some of that information is going to be a little bit off.
Yeah.
So for the purposes of trying to compile it for statistics and science research, we're not sure that information is really valid when you lump it together. However, you as a fisherman, now you want to start to keep track of your own stuff, and you're keying into those things, and you're sure that your location and your time is right. It automatically fills in that information you're talking about, what the tide was in that area. It pulls data from the local NOAA weather buoys and the shipping boats that come through that transpond weather data. So you get water temperatures and wind direction and wave height and all that stuff. So you have all that information in your private personal logbook that no other fisherman can see. It's just your information. And
that app is what was the name of the app?
The app is called iAngler. It's just the letter I in Angler.
Is it a free app?
It is. Yep, it's free. And one of the, a lot of the people that fish in this tournament, that's one of the benefits is they'll start reporting their catches, and a lot of them are the kids. So it's great. We're going to get, great longitudinal information and these young citizen scientists that are involved with not just mapping habitats, but this is really the way that we're going to manage our fisheries in the future, I believe.
I've seen some. I don't know. I guess maybe in the last 2 or 3 years, it looks like they by the Lake Wirth Bridge. Is that part of the lagoon?
Yes, it is.
So they added what appears to be like a reef, right? They put all these rocks and stuff in. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, that particular project was a real success story. It's called Snook Islands. And, that area, you had mentioned earlier that the lagoon is flushed out from the inlets. That particular area is, as far as the water goes, just about halfway in between the inlets. Linear-wise, if you measured out, it's closer to the Boynton, but the Boynton inlet is smaller. It doesn't have as much tidal influence. So the spot where the tides kind of meet is near. So consequently, there's not a whole lot of flushing there. Now, what had happened with the lagoon in that area, all the shoreline had been changed into seawalls and straight seawalls. All of the, there's a lot of dredging going on. what once was, nice clean water with different types of seagrass in there ended up becoming basically just what we called it the dead zone. There was nothing going on there. There was just anoxic muck that kind of settled on the bottom. It killed off all the plants. The bulkhead on the edges, the wave energy going back and forth contributed to that. There's little to no sunlight getting down to the bottom. So, basically became a really gross kind of spot. And there was nothing going on. So the county and some other individuals put their heads together and figured out, all right, we've got to replace the seawall along the golf course there, right by the Lake Worth Bridge on the mainland side. And there was some land that had to be moved up by the inlet. So they kind of got together instead of making two different projects that wouldn't have had much environmental benefit and been more costly. They saved money and they created new habitat, capped off the muck, brought the bottom up to where the sun could reach the bottom, planted those mangroves, put some rocks in that to protect what they had put in there till it gets a foothold. And those rocks, those riprap, that helps eat up the wave energy from the boats going by in the wind. So that starts to reduce some of the sedimentation that stays in the water and allows sunlight to get down. So that project, which ended up being about 1.5 miles long, really became kind of the poster for what you could do for positive things in the lagoon. And now they've gone and expanded that and created a walkway and educational.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And now on the other side of the lagoon on the east side, there's small projects popping up, and all up, down, and through the lagoon, there's similar projects that have been done. So they're constantly surveying and looking for areas that they could do some more things to improve the overall water quality and habitats of the lagoons.
That's awesome. I noticed that because one of my accounts was Four Seasons Resort, which was not very far from that, just north of that bridge. And so I was my goodness, probably 3 times a week, 3 times a week I was going to visit them. So I was seeing this day in and day out. I watched, this is years back now, this is probably 3 or 4 years ago. And I was watching this go on. I thought, how cool is that? I'd love to be able to get down there once they get it all settled. Have you seen a lot of fish move in? Because it looks like it would be really almost like an aquarium kind of thing. Have you seen a lot of fish move into the area because of that?
Yeah, for sure. It went from no fish, really, to there being, depending on the time of year and the conditions, a lot of fish. And things like seagrass naturally recruited there. Now, there is funny things happening with that seagrass because it's now all gone again. It came and it went, and we don't really know why. So there's a lot of speculation and research going into that, trying to figure out how to bring it back. But things like, there was a type of a clamworm, a polychaete clamworm, which had never been seen in this area before, started showing up there. And it was one of those things that the snook and the tarpon at night, if you've ever heard of really kind of a famous worm hatch down in the Keys of a pololo worm that the tarpon would go down there and eat.
I've heard of it.
It's a similar type of clamworm that actually came from the north, not the south. But, talking to the biologists, he said this is absolutely here just because of the habitat that was here. I've been surveying this spot for 25 years, and there was never anything like it. And
that's
now,
awesome.
On the full moon in June is typically when it happens. There's a hatch or a swarm of these worms, and that's what all the snook and most other fish in there are eating.
Wow.
So that'll be coming up.
Well, thank you for the update. I greatly appreciate it. I greatly appreciate you calling in. We got to move on to the next slot, and I want to get you back with more updates. So we'll be hearing more from you sometime down the road here. Again, my appreciation. Wish you an awesome day. Let me give my co-host an opportunity to say goodbye to you.
Yeah, absolutely. The biological information you're collecting is just amazing for future fisheries, and keep on that. And it's great to get more junior anglers out.
Yeah, I like that. I like when the kids get involved. Yep.
Yeah, thank you both very much for letting us come on and talk about it and promote the app iAngler. We do think that's really important stuff, and I do hope to come back on and talk to you both soon. It's a great show.
Looking forward to it, my friend. God bless you, Brett. Wish you an awesome day. So long.
You too.
All right, let me bring on our next guest is Pam Wirth. Pam, if you don't know who that is, she's one of the top lady anglers who specifically fishes from a kayak. She has some unique experiences to share with us. Good morning, Miss Pam.
Good morning. How are you all today?
Good morning, Pam.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yep. You're out on the water again?
Yeah. So how are you all today? I hear it's, I've been fishing in nothing but wind, like 20 to 25 knots all weekend, as well as if it's not windy, it's been raining, one or the other.
Speaking of the rain, Carolyn, did you get rain last night?
Yes, we had some crazy rain came through Deerfield Beach. A lot of wind. It's a little bit windy right now, but I was surprised. Lightning and all that.
That must have been a front or something came through.
It
was so heavy it woke me up. Go ahead, Pam.
Yeah, I've been up in Louisiana. We had an event called Redtopia, and Yacht tribe was up there also. We're at a fishing camp. And I want to tell you, when Louisiana fishing camps are a little different than others. In this particular area, we're all staying in little trailers. And when that front came through, the whole place rocked, literally.
Wow.
But the fishing was amazing. I got some beautiful redfish. I've got them on my Facebook and Instagram page. And believe it or not, I caught them on chatterbaits, which is basically a bass lure.
Huh.
But in Louisiana, the water is so dark and muddy that the chatterbait helps make enough vibration and noise that the fish will come out and come look for it. So it really was interesting, and it was a great time.
How cool is that? You're modifying the bait that was intended to be used in a different kind of setting and coming up successful. That's pretty cool. That's the cleverness of you that I like. I think that comes from, you work at a store, right? Don't you work full time? Don't you work at you did work at a store, one of the stores?
Yeah, I work at Tampa Fishing Outfitters in Tampa. It's owned by the Lee family. They have 3 locations, one in Tampa, one in St. Pete, and one in Tarpon, and about to open a location in Lakeland probably late summer, early fall.
Well, congrats.
And yeah, it's a great family to work for. It's not a big box store, but it's bigger than some of the big box stores that are in Florida. And the nice thing about it is we carry a lot of local lures, people who, in Florida who hand tie stuff and make original lures. So we're trying to help support local business as much as we can. And being a family local business, that's important to us.
Yeah. Well, the reason I brought that up is I think because of your experience in that, in the store, you get to see with regard to how much you get to see is far beyond what, like somebody like me or an average fisher, an average angler would see, because you are subjected to all of this different retailed merchandise, if you will. And you mix that with the idea, and then you get something like you came up with using what'd you say was a bass lure? Bass lure?
Yeah, it's called a chatterbait. The one I particularly used was by Z-Man. And it's called a chatterbait, and it has kind of like a blade in front of it, and then the hook behind it, where you can put what we call a tailor or paddle tail or something like that on. It worked exceptionally well. It was really a lot of fun. It's a little harder bait to pull through the water if you're used to a little paddle tail or something like that, because it has a lot of water resistance to it. So at the end of the day, if you're throwing it all day, to be honest, my arm was a little sore. But yeah, it's nice. And what you were saying, I probably see, I don't know, like maybe 5-10 captains every day, getting supplies for their trips and things like this. And they're all using unique and different things. And since we do have a big bass section, we do have crossover anglers that work saltwater and work freshwater. So it's a lot of fun to talk to them and find out what they're using. We try to stay really current with all our lures and supplies.
So I'm pretty sure you're out on the water this morning, right?
It's kind of close to it. I left Louisiana yesterday and stopped at my brother's, who's in Gulf Breezes, which is right next to Pensacola.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting on his balcony overlooking the water, trying to determine if I should fish or if the front's going to come through too fast.
Gulf breeze. That's where all the UFOs are. For those UFOlogists out there that like to hear about the UFOs, it's Gulf breeze has all the UFOs. So make sure you're looking in the sky too while you're looking out at the water.
Well, that's funny because Pensacola has one of the biggest Air Force bases.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a big, big military installation here.
Yeah. Well,
I'm pretty sure, did Angelia from the Florida Salty Cowgirl, did she crash you one day?
Did she?
I don't know. I
thought I heard her say she came in looking for you one day.
Oh, yeah, she came in the store. She and I hung out in the store one day. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I think she's like up north. The last photo I saw, she was on a jet snowmobile. So I have no idea.
She was in Colorado. We kid about her. She can't stay away.
Lucky for us, she brought her Atlas Trax tracker with her, so we knew everywhere she went. And when she was skiing, Pamela, she'd call me every day and say, "How many miles did I do?" And I said, "I hate to tell you, did 25." So.
I gotta tell you, I've been talking about it for 2 years to get one of your trackers, and I absolutely want to do that because you guys could go, "Hey, guess where Pam is now?"
That's right.
It's
That's
like,
right.
Where's Waldo?
You know the.
Well, you know what? You could help me with a project, and I'm happy to get you a tracker. I had a resort in the Turks and Caicos call me. They have 10 stackable kayaks, and they need to know where to hide trackers. So I might need to reach out to you after the show and give me some recommendations where to hide something that's 3 inches by 2 inches for safety, not so much for theft, but to know when folks are coming back from paddling. But yeah, we got to get a tracker on your kayak.
Okay, that'll be so much fun. Yeah. Obviously, you guys all have my phone number, so give me a call or text me after the show. That'll be a blast.
Yeah, so we can play the Where's the Ham game, like the Where's the Angelia game.
There you go.
Where is?
Oh.
Now that would be a lot of fun. I'm hoping to get to Carolina and fish with some buddies later this year. We had to postpone the trip in your area because of bad weather for the offshore kayak trip.
Mm-hmm.
Navarra is one of the big ones coming up in June, and it's an offshore kayak tournament here in the Panhandle.
Yeah, I remember that.
Purposely, they sunk some artificial reef and made it really easier. It's only about a couple miles out where you can get red snapper from your kayak.
Wow!
So that's going to be a lot of fun. They had their first tournament last year, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was so much fun.
Wow! So, you're not going to be? You didn't make it over here. Are you working your way down the state again on the west side?
I've been up here. I took the week off, so I'm pretty much just headed my way back to Tampa. I've got a lot of wash to do and clean that car out. A week of living out of the car. You know how that is.
A devoted angler. Either that or you could say she's committed or needs to be committed. One of the two.
Exactly. It's just so much fun. Kayakers are easygoing. There's probably 12 of us there. And the first night, Dave Hernandez turned around and made jambalaya. Second night,
oh my!
Yeah, the second night we all donated part of our redfish catches, and we had dirty rice, baked beans, and blackened redfish, as much as you could eat, and it was delicious. Yeah, It was so much fun.
Jambalaya, I haven't had that in quite a while. Yeah, I'm quite familiar with the area that you're in because I spent a little over 2 years at Tyndall, which is probably the air base, the closest where you're at right now is either Tyndall or as you work your way around, there's another one called Eglin. That's an even bigger base. Huge bases. People don't realize how big these bases are. Huge bases that are up there.
There's a national forest here too, so if any of them are vets or retired military, or even active military, you can camp for free in their campgrounds here.
Wow, that's excellent. I wasn't aware of that. It's a very different kind of lifestyle in those little towns. It's very quaint. It's something you would have to I had to get used to because I came from a big. I grew up in Miami, and they sent me from Miami. They sent me to San Antonio, another big city. From San Antonio, they sent me to Denver, another big city. From Denver, they sent me, from there I went to MacDill, a smaller like almost like a radar. It was an Air Force base, but it wasn't much more than a radar site. And then they started sending me to different places, and I ended up at Tyndall, thinking that, well, that's Panama City. My gosh, when I was a kid, my parents took me to Panama City. It was Party City, and didn't know that I think it's a couple of weeks after September, the Miracle Strip shuts down, which is where all the party goes on. And then the city itself at that time would shut down at like 8 or 9 o'clock at night. I went stir crazy. It took me about, I don't know, probably 6 months to get acclimated to slowing down, because you grow up in Miami. You could go anywhere any time of the day. It didn't matter what day it was. There's something going on. That wasn't the case where I was at, and it took some getting used to. But I'll tell you what, once I got used to it, I really enjoyed it. It was, you don't feel like you're in this race.
Well, Gulf Breezes is right next to Pensacola. Panama City is probably a couple-hour drive from here.
Yeah.
More east.
Yeah.
But you have a different lifestyle. You get up at 5 in the morning and get out on the water and stuff like that. And I got news: by 10 o'clock at night, you're ready to hit the stuff.
You're done. Wow.
Yeah, no doubt. We had Trae from Big Dog Tackle on. He fished yesterday, and I was surprised that he was able to call in at 8 o'clock this morning. He probably just stayed up all night.
Oh, gee.
Yeah, that is, that's a great tackle shop. Big Dog Tackle is a great tackle shop. I got there right after they had just opened, and I was really impressed with what they had. So if you're in that area, that's a store y'all should really support.
We have him on from time to time, and he always gives us the latest of what's going on, and of course a little fishing report here and there, and a bait report, and what kind of baits are moving and what's happening. So it's what am I trying to say? It's like a buffet line. It's like a buffet line of guests from a variety of different places, all the way down to the Keys, and over on your side of the state this morning.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to say, if you're ever fishing Louisiana, what you want to bring is either a chartreuse chatterbait or a white or pearl chatterbait, a spoon, and there's a new paddle tail that just came out by Berkeley, and it's a Gulp product, but it's a paddle tail, and it actually has really good action to it. That paddle tail I love in the 4 and 5 inch, and then I've been using Gambler, again, kind of a freshwater product, but the middle size of Gambler has been excellent for big snook. I'm on an owner's twist lock hook. It's been excellent.
When you say a Gambler, are you talking about like a worm? Yes? No?
It's their paddle tail. Gambler makes a variety of freshwater baits, but this happens to be their paddle tail.
Oh,
I think it's like the Big Easy. I think it's called their Big Easy.
Huh. Wow.
It's a great bait. It's a great bait for shallow water, because you can bring it in real slowly, because the water's still a little cool with all these cold fronts we've had. So the fish are just a little slower, and you can throw it with it being winter time, coming into spring, but we have super low tides during the winter and early spring. So you want something that it can run fairly shallow and run slow, but still have action. And that Gambler paddle tail is one of the best.
Wow. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. First-hand knowledge from what do they used to call those people on the scene reporter, and telling you exactly there go all your secrets now. Now we know how to catch.
Well, here's what's amazing, right? We take out center console boats that have tons of storage, tons of drawers, tons of weights, all this stuff. You go out in a little kayak, and you have to know what you want before you get in that kayak.
She knocks them out.
I just had I had a funny vision of you pulling some big floating tackle box behind your kayak, because you just, and who knows, maybe that's the next new invention, because you really don't know what you need when you're out there, and you don't have the leisure of saying, I'd like the chartreuse one. No, I'd like the pink one. You don't have very much space.
Exactly. I have limited space, so I make the best of it. I have kind of a crate by Yacht Gear that fits individual holders really, really well. So if I don't know what I'm going to need, I kind of bring out a variety of different colors. But what I do is, and anybody should do this, local knowledge. I went to 2 of the local tackle shops and bought a couple of what they recommended for that area and chatted them up a little bit, chatted up some of the anglers that were out there, and asked them what they were successful with. I didn't ask them where they were fishing. You don't do that. That's kind of tacky. But I always ask what they're using, how they do it. And I would say 90% of the saltwater anglers are really happy to share that knowledge with you. I'm not asking for, exactly where did you catch that fish? That'll turn off any other angler. But if you really want to learn how to fish and learn what's in the area, go to the tackle shop, ask them their recommendations, how to move it. And the more questions you ask them, the more comfortable they'll usually be and give you more and more information. So, and the nice thing about that, again, if you hit the mom and pop stores, the owner, the owner-runner type store, those are the people that invest in their own community, and they want to invest in your future, your angling future, to make sure that you're successful. Because if you're successful, you're going to come back into that shop.
Yeah.
And a lot of those people are anglers that run those shops.
Well, it's about small businesses, and that's just one of the advantages of dealing with a small business. When you're dealing with a small business, you are part of the business. They recognize how important you are as making an investment in whatever it is that they're providing for you. That's the advantage of small businesses, and one of the reasons that I promote small businesses, because if you ever have a problem with your phone, your cell phone or your internet, go give them a call, see how long it's going to take you to resolve the issue. How much time are you going to spend trying to get this, whatever the problem is, resolved, versus a small business, you go to them and you tell them, this is my issue. If it needs to go to the owner, which many of the time is the person that you're talking to anyway, there's no wasted time. The issue is resolved immediately. Again, this is one of my peeves. We've got to get small businesses back. We have been under such an attack, particularly this last 1+ years, where many of us have just gone. They're not here any longer. So anytime that you have an opportunity to deal with either a huge corporation or a small business, and they're both offering you the same, whatever it might be, service, product, whatever that might be, I would hope and pray that you go with the small business, because we really need to help. They shut small businesses down while they allowed the large businesses to grow. That's just not right. Anyway, that's my little peeve about small businesses, and whenever possible, we do support them. Out of time on the slot, my dear. I wish you well. I thank you so much for taking time to share with us this morning. It is an honor to have you on, and when you get this area, let me know. Let me give Carolyn an opportunity to say goodbye to you. Wish you an awesome day.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, Pam. Have fun today, and I'll reach out to you. We'll get a tracker on your yak.
Yeah, I look forward to fishing with you too, Carolyn. That would be a hoot.
Oh my God, we would have so much fun. Yeah, I'd like to get all the ladies together, and we would have a real good time. Maybe over up in Palm Beach, we'll grab a house somewhere.
There you go.
There you go. Sounds great.
All right.
Y'all be well.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show. We'll be right back.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped, even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion: air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478.
When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers. But that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Leiza Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Clubb, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Clubb has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclub.com. That's www.susanclubb.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Clubb. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878.
You're listening to the
#1 radio.
Trim Radio Network.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on when the sun shines all day. It just caught me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah, fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah, I'm fishing and
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
Hey, we are back. It is the Fishing in Florida Show. Good morning to you. If you're just joining us, I will eventually have archives. That's a whole nother story. We will have archives set up. And the link to the archives will be on the Facebook page. And surprise, surprise, surprise. The website is supposed to be up. Was supposed to be up today, actually. We had a bit of a technical issue, so the website will be up most likely tomorrow. It is fishinginfloridashow.com. That's another place you can go to listen to the live show as well as find the archives. So it's fishinginfloridashow.com. That will be, I'm pretty sure it's going to be live tomorrow. In the meantime, the app has, here's another story. The app is out. The app works great, except for it's under review. And because it hasn't been officially approved by these people, if you look up Trim Radio, which is the new network that we're on, you'll never find it. You have to go to the old network, WCET, and you'll find the app. The app is free. There's no spyware. There's no adware. There's no push notifications. Sometime in the next week and a half, the review will be complete, and you'll find it under the Trim Radio Network. So until then, if you want the app, WCET, if you have the app from before, all you got to do is hit play. That's really easy. In the meantime, I want to welcome back my co-host, and she is with Atlas Trax. If you want to protect what you love to the max, you got to talk to Carolyn at Atlas Trax. Welcome back, Miss Carolyn.
Thank you so much, Riscala.
And let me bring up my next guest. That is Leiza Fitzgerald, and she is with the CCA of Florida. CCA does a wide variety of things, all of which I just kind of tugs at my heart because it's one of those win-win situations. Those of you who listen to the show know that I love to do win-win situations, and CCA of Florida is exactly that. Welcome, Miss Leiza. Good morning to you.
Well, good morning, Riscala, and thank you so much for being on the show this morning. I am so thrilled because we have so much going on with our organization and the things that our marine habitat as well as our star competition. So it's been a lot of fun and very exciting to see all of the great habitat restoration projects.
Are you going to be doing the tournament again?
The star competition?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Star competition runs Memorial Day to Labor Day. We already have quadrupled the registrations we've had in years past.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're up almost 2,000 registrations already. We're expecting to have 10,000 anglers with us this year.
Wow.
We have $500,000 in prizes to award, and every fish you catch could win you a prize.
That's awesome. Tell us a little bit more about that. How does that whole deal, how does it work?
So from Memorial Day to Labor Day, 101 days of fishing. If you are a CCA member and registered in the STAR competition, inexpensive. It's for a membership and registration in the competition. It's only $75. So less than $1 a day to participate in the competition. Any fish you catch, you take a photo of it on the official West Marine measuring device, snap the photo. On our app, you go in, enter yourself in the app, submit your photo into the category or division that your fish goes in, whether it's an inshore division or an offshore division. And then at the end of the competition, every single division is done by a random drawing of the entries in those divisions. So anglers of all skill levels have an opportunity to win because it's not the biggest fish. It's a random drawing.
Oh, well, okay, so I have to bring this up. Do you still have the division that...
The trash division?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Last year, our trash division acquired nearly 4,000 5-gallon buckets of garbage. So what we do is we make our participants citizen garbologists. We ask them while they're on the water, when they're near the water, to pick up garbage, dispose of it properly, and every 5-gallon bucket equates to one entry into our competition. However, you can pick up as many as you want. Some of the guys are getting creative, and they'll have 25 buckets stacked with all the garbage.
Oh my gosh.
Or they'll do their big black trash bags, but you have to have the West Marine official measuring device in there. And, it is a great opportunity for youth. If they're picking up garbage, for every 5-gallon bucket that they pick up, they get 30 minutes of community service hours.
That's awesome. Now, everybody wins.
And that's required, I think, for high school, right?
Yeah.
To receive for high school, most graduates are required to have, in order to qualify for many scholarships, they are required to have 100 hours of community service. And what better way to get community service than on your own, picking up garbage? And the way that we can quantify and know for sure that they're actually doing this is they have to submit those photos. And then I can go through and pull a log of all of the entries that they've made and equate those to hours.
What a great program.
And this is what tickles me, because everybody wins. The people picking up the trash win. The environment wins. Whatever is using the environment wins. It's a win-win situation. That's why I love this kind of stuff. It's great.
Well, and Riscala, for your anglers that are on the southeast coast, what is getting ready to happen right now is that big run of mahi and dolphin on the East Coast. Let me tell you, we have, with the Dolphin Research Group, tagged dolphin down in the Florida Keys. We will be tagging them just before the competition starts. And if you are registered in the competition and a CCA member, and you catch one of the first tigress tagged dolphin, you win $10,000
Oh my
cash.
goodness. Wow. Now, see, that's... who cannot... Oh my gosh. I'm at a loss for words. $10,000 to go fishing.
$10,000 cash from tigress outriggers and gear. All you have to do is go out. Last year, we had 2 of those dolphin recaptured, but they weren't in the competition. And I am sure your listeners fish other competitions. We're like a TWT, which is a tournament within a tournament. If you're registered in our competition and you're fishing another tournament, if you catch one of those dolphins, you're good to go. And every dolphin you catch, you can enter in the competition in the non-tagged dolphin division.
Wow.
So Riscala, here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to enter Angelia because
I knew that was
going to come. Dolphin that she finally catches is the $10,000 dolphin.
Oh my! I knew that was going to come into the conversation. We'll have to let her know. Yeah, we definitely have to let her know. That is amazing. So here's the other thing. Do you still have the deals where if they catch a tagged fish, they could win something like what was it, a truck or a boat, or what was all that? Is it still going on?
So with tagged redfish, that is our signature division, the West Marine Tagged Redfish Division. If you recapture one of our tagged redfish, you can win a brand new Contender powered by Yamaha, a brand new Pathfinder powered by Yamaha, or a brand new Spider Vapor powered by Yamaha. Every boat is valued at over $50,000. Last year, we had 24 tagged redfish recaptured. And this year, we're hoping we have 5 major prizes to give away in the tagged redfish division. And those are all brand new boats powered by Yamaha sitting on a trailer.
Now, how awesome is that? You get to go fishing, which is something that if you're not an angler, then you're not a fisherman. You're just wasting time. But for me, I get to go fishing. I love fishing, so I get to do something that I love. And then the interim of all of that, there's a possibility that I may end up with a boat. I love it. That's great.
And every division, every inshore division has a brand new boat. We're giving away, in the trout division, we're giving away a custom Ginu 25, low 25. We're giving away a brand new salt marsh skiff in the non-tagged redfish division. And in the snook division, we're giving away a brand new piranha boat for the first place drawing. Again, it's not the biggest fish. All you have to do is enter a legal minimum size fish every day that you fish, and we will draw your name. Last year, first place winner in the trout division of a brand new boat caught 1 trout all summer and submitted into the competition and won a $25,000 boat.
So is it? I think you said this, but I just want to be clear. It's kind of like a drawing then, right? Is that what we're...
So it is a drawing in every division, but it does require skill. Mm-hmm. You must catch a fish to enter into the competition.
And every time you catch a fish, you get an entry into the drawing?
Into the different divisions. So there's 17 total divisions. We have the Costa Kick Plastic Trash Division. We have the Power Pole Conservation Division. We have 17 total divisions, inshore and offshore.
So if somebody wants a list of the divisions or wants to see more information, where do they go? I know you have a website. I just don't remember what it is.
They can go to ccaflstar.com, and all of our divisions, all of our prizes, you can register right there on the site, or you can give us a call at 844-387-7827, and we will register you right over the phone.
Can't make it any easier than that, people. Come on. Oh, my gosh. With the opportunity to...
Not to mention the fact just going to the website for the CCA, everything's right there, easy to click on. The boat you can win is right there. So great stuff.
It's very easy to see, lots of information. And, all of the proceeds and we didn't talk about our youth scholarship. Riscala, to date, we've awarded $600,000 in college scholarships just for kids going out and catching fish. And many of these kids had never fished until their mom or dad had learned about the STAR competition. And they were catching fish over the summer, submitting them. And we give away 2 $25,000 scholarships, one from Real Tree Fishing, the other from Academy Sports and Outdoors. And then we give away 10 other $5,000 scholarships. So 12 youth will win a scholarship, a college scholarship. It's a great opportunity for kids to get engaged in fishing.
Wow. See, everybody wins. That's what I like about this. I don't think we've left anybody out. Even the trash is included.
Yes, every fish you catch. So people love it because your puffer fish, it counts.
Yeah.
A catfish, it counts.
Wow.
Ladyfish, jack, any fish you catch, sea robin, anything counts in the competition, and you can put that in the Power Pole Conservation Division.
I love it.
That's absolutely amazing.
I don't know of any other tournament that does what CCA of Florida does. I may be wrong, but I really don't. I don't know of anybody else that does what, for the length of time that they put it on, for the wide variety of prizes that they offer, for the amount of people and the environment that is affected in a positive way by all of this. I don't know anybody else that does that.
It is the largest family-friendly fishing competition in the state of Florida, and the coolest thing is that it's catch photo. We do not require any fish to be harvested or killed to win in our competition. So no weigh scales, no transporting your fish. You take a picture of it and you submit it. And it has to be with our official measuring device so we know that it's been caught during the competition. And last year, we had over 33,000 fish entries into the competition.
Wow.
Which actually, because we are a conservation organization, provides the largest amount of catch data information in the state for other universities and research groups to utilize for different projects that they're doing, whether it's habitat, restorations, restocking programs, all of those types of things. They can garner the data that we've collected through all of our catch records and share that and learn from it.
And do I remember right? You did something with restocking as well, right?
Right. So our organization, CCA Florida, has been instrumental in the recovery from the red tide that happened on the west coast of Florida. We have restocked over the last 2 years, and again this year we'll be restocking. We've already put 40,000 redfish back into the coastal waters of West Florida. 40,000 redfish. Majority of those are the 8 to 12-inch fish, and then another 2,500 of those are actually breeder stock redfish. And we put 5,000 snook back into our coastal estuaries. Wow. So every little bit putting fish back into the waterways has helped to improve our resources and our stock. So we're very excited and thrilled to be able to do that, as well as we do offshore and nearshore reefs, mangrove replanting, oyster bed renourishment. We just did a massive project in Charlotte Harbor where we restored and put back into the local waters a depleted oyster bar in Turtle Bay, and we put 20 tons of oyster shell back into that reef. This is shell that's been cured and dried, transported and put back around the reef so that the oysters can spread out and rebuild and continue to flourish in the bays. And if you are familiar with oysters, they are a filter feeder.
Yep.
So they can filter up to 50 gallons of water a day.
That I didn't
And
know.
wherever you have oysters, you have absolutely beautiful water. So we want to keep our oysters growing.
And Apalachicola is known for the gourmet of oysters are found in Apalachicola. And that's on the west side of the state.
But unfortunately, that area has had a massive collapse. And our organization is working to help the oystermen up there with their oysters. There's a state of emergency in Apalachicola at this point.
I did not know that. Wow.
Yes, they are no longer allowed to harvest oysters from Apalachicola.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, there's a tragedy occurring in Apalachicola, which we are working with the Apalachicola waterkeepers and trying to make sure that we get them taken care of. So we are so thrilled that you had me on the show. And if anybody wants to go check out our organization, volunteer to do something good for the environment, please get online and register as a member and become involved with the star competition. You can't go wrong.
Everybody wins. It's my kind of deal. Everybody wins. I love it. Thank you, Miss Leiza. Greatly appreciate it. I wish you an awesome day. Let me give Carolyn an opportunity to say goodbye to you.
Well, Carolyn,
Absolutely.
thank you so much. Great.
I love spreading the
great
word,
show.
and love to spread the word, and I love the fact that you don't have to have a boat or anything. You could participate even without a fishing rod. That's the coolest thing.
Yeah, I love it. That's great.
You can go to the pier, a seawall, anywhere, wade fish, pick up garbage anywhere, and participate in the competition. So
awesome.
Get engaged and enjoy our resources and help us to keep them healthy.
Cool. All right. There we go.
All right. You have a wonderful day.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show. We'll be right back.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Leiza Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Clubb, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Clubb has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclub.com. That's www.susanclub.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Clubb. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878.
You're listening to the
#1 radio.
Trim Radio Network.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. I just caught me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah. Fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah. I'm fishing and
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, we are back. It is the Fishing in Florida show. Good morning, good morning, good morning. What a beautiful morning it is here in South Florida today. I was out this morning with the dog. It was nice and crisp and cool. The humidity hadn't come out yet. It was almost like air conditioning out there. It's really, really nice. This morning I have Carolyn, and Carolyn is with Atlas Trax. And what do I say about Carolyn? If you want to protect what you love to the max, you got to talk to Carolyn. Over there to Atlas Trax. Welcome back, Miss Carolyn.
Well, thank you so much, Riscala. You know I like hanging out on a sunny Sunday Florida morning.
Well, and now we're going to add a little more confusion to the pot, if you will. We're going to bring Miss Carol on. Carol is with Mermaid Vodka, and she is somebody that I met several years ago who has an outstanding product. But not only that, she's an angler. She has her own little fishing team. She's part of the group that Carolyn is involved with. So now we have Carol and Carolyn. Good morning, Miss Carol.
Good morning, Riscala. Good morning, Carolyn. Thanks for
Good
having
morning,
me on.
Carol. Oh, of course, and I'm sure you're probably on the water, and it's pretty funny that we get so busy. We only get to talk on the radio together.
I know. That is so true. I wish we were on the water though. Right now we're trying to do some work to the dock, and all those little things you have to
all
do
the joys.
Sure, Exactly. So we've been hauling wheelbarrows full of sand for the seawall and all that good stuff. But anyway, we are looking forward to getting out on our next fishing excursion and our next tournament, Carolyn. I think it's coming up June 5th, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So Carol is not only with Mermaid Vodka, she's on the Pink Ladies Mermaid Vodka fishing team, and we fish donated boats. So, yeah, we've got the 35th Ladies Fish-Off coming June 5th. Hopefully we'll be fishing a Viking, and we might have another one coming up for autism on May 5th. And we were invited to Cabo San Lucas July 11th to fish a ladies-only tournament down there in Mexico.
You guys are going to be busy.
And we work full time. time.
That's a plateful there. My goodness.
Yeah, busy in a fun way though. We
Yeah.
enjoy it, especially when the tournament benefits a cause. Autism is near and dear to my heart. I have a nephew on the spectrum, and I think it's great to be able in any way, shape, or form to support tournaments.
Amen. Yeah.
And any kind of causes that, we do a lot of that with golf tournaments, fishing tournaments, you name it. We're all over the place with Mermaid Vodka and the support that we like to provide to different causes in the community. We've got the Trash Can Slam is coming up, and the young lady Michaela, who organizes that, I'm just so impressed with her. She started in high school organizing this tournament out of Pompano Beach, and it's grown every year, and we're able to help support her tournament.
Awesome.
It's great to watch.
We had her on.
Grow her tournament.
Yeah, we had her on, Carol.
Yeah.
She was it last week, Carolyn?
Yeah, last week she called in, tell us all about Trash Can Slam. I committed, I hope you don't mind, I committed our team to fishing, and I think we're going to get the Starbright Viking. So.
Great. Well, I was going to ask you about it, so here you go. We're all connected. I'm
There
sorry
you
I wasn't
go.
listening last week. I think last week we had the chairman of World Cat Boats out on the new Center Console 40. We were out fishing that with him and getting acquainted with the boat. It was the hull number 1, so it was really great to get out and see what that boat can do. It's an amazing vessel, and we got into some sails and had the kites up, of course, and some sails, and then a couple of wahoos. So we were really, really pleased with the way the day went, and here we go. So now we're able to connect via your show, Riscala, and plan our tournaments out. Thank you.
And let's not forget about Mermaid Vodka. I went to the store over the weekend and I picked up 4 more bottles, and I'll tell you what, they look really pretty when they're up late on the counter.
The logo was very
thank
well
you so
done.
much.
Very
Thank
well.
you. We appreciate the
very well
support,
thought out.
Carolyn. We really do.
Yeah, very well thought out.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We actually are bringing out a special edition shirts and Travis tumblers featuring some new artwork that we have that was created for us by an artist on the west coast of Florida named Brendan Cadall. And he's just an amazing marine artist, and I believe he trained under Guy Harvey. But anyway, he's really pretty phenomenal with his work. So we'll be revealing that. You can see some of it up on our website, mermaidvodkausa.com. And we've already been out. We had a Manatee Festival that we were at, and we were able to get some of the merchandise out into the community with the new artwork. So it was very well received. And I think when you take a look at it, again, if you go to our website, you can see the shirts and the tumblers. Don't believe the tumblers are up yet, but they will be with the new artwork. We're still waiting on the finished product from Tervis. I think I've said this before. We try to use all Florida vendors, all local vendors, people that maybe just starting their business over here on the East Coast. We use Jessie Jessup. She does all of our long sleeve UPF shirts, UPF 50 shirts. And yeah, I met Jessie at the Pompano Beach Seafood Festival. So it's funny how things kind of go around full circle. But she does a phenomenal job with us on the shirts, and those shirts are definitely up on the website and available for purchase if you want to support not only one local business, being Mermaid Vodka, but also Jessie Jessup, another local business owner who she does a lot of work also, I believe, for many of the tournaments. I think she does a lot of the tournament shirts. So.
And I hope you don't mind, Carol. I want to share with our listeners that might not know. I am a breast cancer survivor, and you are a breast cancer survivor, and we put our fishing team together to share our story with other women that are going through it and families. And also with Mermaid Vodka, if you go to our pinkladiesfishingteam.com, you'll be able to get a link right to Mermaid Vodka also. Because we want to make sure we keep it in the circle of small businesses and women-owned businesses and us tough thrivers, as we call them. We definitely want to make sure we keep that circle getting bigger and bigger with people that are in need or might need help with something.
Yep. No, I'm glad you brought it up because we also have put the link up on our website to the Pink Ladies team merchandise, so we can try to drive some sales and traffic to support the cause that, as you said, Carolyn, is so near and dear to our hearts. Not only am I a survivor, but I did lose my mother to a 7-year battle with breast cancer, and I've seen what the disease does to people firsthand. Many friends, dear friends like Carolyn, who've been affected, and we feel so fortunate to not only have survived, but also to be able to support the cause and support other people who may need some sort of help, whether it's just talking to me and Carolyn and kind of sharing our experience and finding out what's the first step. What do you do when you get the results? It's not anything that anyone's ever practiced for.
Yeah.
Nor do you want to.
Right. And something that's really cool. Yeah, and then anybody that calls us that tells us that they're going through the process, we send them free shirts with their names on them so that they can feel comfy whenever they are feeling a little down, and they can put on our Pink Lady shirts. We send them totally free of charge.
Wow. I think I shared with you once before, Carolyn, my mom, of course, this was many, many years ago. My mom had to go through that, and back then it was radical surgery. They had removed one of her breasts, and she was kind of alone in her. She didn't have anything like this. And it would have made all the difference in the world to her if she would have had somebody that had gone through a similar experience that she could speak with. But back then, didn't have any kind of support groups like we have today. So I'm very grateful for you guys, because there are people out there, when you go through a similar experience with somebody, or somebody has already gone through the experience and you're just going through it, and they can share with you, and it helps relieve some of the stress, to know that somebody, okay, they've gone through it, and they can tell me what they've, what I might be able to expect from all of this. It's phenomenal. It really is. So thank you guys for doing that.
I do have to tell you, I was contacted at 2:50 in the morning with a girl that had just had surgery, and she just said, I feel like I've been hit by a truck. And, I got up, I responded to her, and that makes all the difference. And that's how I met Carol through this process. We were fishing a ladies' cancer tournament. I didn't know I had cancer at the time. And, boy, we became lifelong friends now, and we'll get out there. And Carol's an avid fisherwoman, business owner, and, I look up to her so much. It's amazing, and I wouldn't have got through my struggle without her. So, thank you, Carol.
Oh, hey, I am there for you just like you've been for me. It's not always about different causes. Sometimes it's just, hey, I need another business owner to talk to, or just somebody that is always there. And I'll tell you, Carolyn, she's always there, whether it's through Atlas Trax or her amazing product for her customers, or for her friends. I don't think I've ever met a more giving person than Carolyn.
Well, that's part of I think it's kind of a prerequisite to becoming part of the fishing community here in South Florida. A bunch of people who just give. I want to mention this while I'm thinking about it. Mermaid Vodka, and Carol kind of mentioned this a little bit. Everything that revolves around Mermaid Vodka is, am I wrong, Carol? Carol, it's like 99 or 100%. Everything is Florida, right? Even the corn that is grown in Florida.
Yes, you're 100% correct.
It's bottled in Florida.
Florida product through and through.
The only thing I don't, where are the bottles made? That's the only thing I don't know.
The bottles come from U.S. Glass up in Tampa.
So even the glass comes from Florida. All right. Yeah. One of the things that I have learned throughout the years is that when you invest with a small company, roughly speaking, generally speaking, in one way, shape, or form, about 60 to 63 cents of every dollar that you spend with them comes back to the community, one way, shape, or form. When you do it with a global corporation, with these big corporations, about 40 to 43 cents comes back. So another reason to support a local family-owned company is that the data shows the majority of your dollar will come back to the community in one way or another, where if you're doing it with a global corporation, less than half is going to come back. So just another incentive to deal with a locally owned, family-owned company. And this particular company everything about their product is here in Florida. So you're investing back into the land that you live in, basically, into the state that you live in. It's great. This is the kind of stuff I like to promote because everybody wins when we come down to something like this. I was astonished at how what a quality product this was. I was really quite surprised because I'm not one who has a great taste for vodka, but I got to tell you, I've never in my entire life never tasted anything as good as this product. And you can tell from the very first time that you taste it, you can tell you're dealing with a high quality product. But the good thing about it is it's not a premium price. It's competitively priced, and it's a high quality product. And every penny that you invest, again, you're not spending, you're investing. This is what I try to get through to people. When you're dealing with a small company, you're not just spending, you're investing. Some of that money's coming back to us. And when it's a small family-owned company, 60 to 63 cents comes back to the local area. Everybody wins. How can you not support that?
and I have to tell you a funny story. So I went to Total Wine and More, which is where you can get Mermaid vodka, and I searched for it and I found it, and there were 5 bottles on the shelf, and I started putting all the bottles in my shopping cart, and people started coming around, consumers, and asking me why I was buying all the bottles, and I told them how good it was. I had to fight and give the 5th bottle away because they were grabbing it, and then the guy came over in a scissor lift and wondered what the hell was going on. So I only was able to get 4 of the 5, and somebody else left with the 5th one, Carol. So that was pretty funny. That was up in Wellington.
Thank you. Check's in the mail, Carolyn.
Well, it's one of those things, again, where everybody wins, and I'm honored to help in whatever small way that we can to help promote that. MermaidVodkaUSA.com is the website. I can still order from the website, Carol?
Yes, we do have a link on our website. Get hooked, buy now. That's our tagline. Get hooked by the Mermaid, not on the vodka. Yeah, our lawyers are like, be careful with that. But anyway. Yes, it's on the website. They can click and order. We have it wrapped nice and safe and snug and bubble wrap.
Can't make it any easier than that. You know, you can't make it easy.
Yeah.
And for those of you who carry around an Android all day long or an iPhone all day long, you whip out your iPhone, you get on the net, hit a couple of buttons, and in a day or two, you've got what you're looking for. You didn't have to go out of the house if you don't want to. You don't even have to leave the house if you don't want to. So you can't make it any easier than that.
No, and if you live near a Total Wine, you can go on the Total Wine app, and they deliver also. So
cool.
If you need it that day, you can actually order it on Total Wine's app for delivery, and they'll come deliver it to
awesome.
you. So, yeah, we try to make it easy for people because that's what your time's valuable, and we respect that.
That's great. Go ahead, Carolyn.
Sure, and I'll tell you what, I'll do a post on the Pink Ladies Mermaid fishing team with a link because a lot of our followers are out of state, so that way they can order some, get some, and who knows, maybe we'll have a cocktail contest with an entry for a shirt or something.
There you go. All right. Well, we are up on this particular slot. We're out of time. Carol, thank you. I greatly appreciate it. I love your product, and I wish you an awesome day. It's a gorgeous day. I hope that you're not going to plan on working all day long with wheelbarrows and moving sand all day. I hope that sometime during the day you'll get to kick back a little bit and enjoy some of that product that you have, and enjoy our wonderful sunshine. What a gorgeous day today. Let me give Carolyn an opportunity to say goodbye to you. Thank you again, Carol. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for having us
absolutely. I've been in your backyard. I'll know you'll be in the pool soon, but put that May 5th trash can slam on your schedule.
Yeah. All right.
It's on there. Thanks so much. Appreciate
Thank you.
it. Really, we do appreciate the opportunity.
God bless.
Love you.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Trim Radio Network. We cut the bull and serve the truth.
Being a dad is an adventure full of special moments.
A cruise?
Surprise!
Unexpected moments.
I got this.
And even awkward moments.
Okay, Dad, thank you.
But every moment you spend with your kids, even the smallest moments, can make the biggest impact on your child's life. So take a moment to be a dad today.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
While other stations just talk a good game, we win it.
Hey, sounds like somebody's having a lot of fun.
Oh, I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. It just caught me a grouper. Stop fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah. Fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah. I'm fishing and
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
Good morning, good morning. We are back. It is the final segment of the Fishing in Florida show. And you know what? I'm amazed that I'm awake this morning. I was up quite late last night and I haven't had any coffee. But the lights are on, and I think they're on bright this morning. I think everything's kind of working up there. Shocking. Especially without any coffee in the morning. So let me welcome back my co-host. That is Carolyn with Atlas Trax. If you want to protect what you love to the max, who are you going to talk to? You're going to talk to Carolyn at Atlas Trax. Welcome back, Miss Carolyn.
Thanks for Scallon. It's amazing how fast this time flies with so many awesome guests.
2 hours just fly by, and we get to talking about all the different things, and before you know it, it's all over. And one of my most favorite people is up next, and that is the Florida Salty Cowgirl. Good morning, Miss Angelia. She's on mute again. She's mute.
No, actually, I think I've got a little bit of a bad connection this morning. You guys are going in and out a little bit on me.
Okay.
So I may up and call back if this continues. But good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
Everybody's doing great. I was telling Riscala earlier, I almost door knocked you yesterday to go fishing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just waiting on her.
It's happening soon, girl. I hear there's dolphin down there.
I hear there's lots of dolphin down here, and that makes me itching to go fishing. The end of the week, I did not get out and do any real fishing last week. I walked the docks, and I talked to everybody to see what's going on. The mahi are definitely starting to come in. The winter fish are going away. The last few weeks, fishing's actually been a little bit tough down here just because of the change of seasons. Our winter fish were kind of going away. Our spring fish were coming in, but it seems like everything's kind of picked back up. The grouper have been biting like crazy, which the season opens May 1st, so they'll get the memo May 1st, and they'll stop biting then. I swear, the grouper know when season starts and stops. I swear to you guys, they send out a memo to these guys. It's insane. But yesterday, instead of, in lieu of going fishing, a couple different fishing plans fell through, but I had the strangest experience, you guys. I'm paddleboarding with a girlfriend, and we were only at about 3 foot of water right off one of the little causeways here, and we had a nurse shark bigger than the paddleboard just swimming right along with 3 foot of water forever. I mean, and of course we're not worried about it because it's just a nurse shark, but it had to be 8 foot long. It was crazy, and just stayed with us for the longest time. So it just shows you down here, you just never, ever know what you're going to see every day that you get in the water. It's just really, really nice. Dolphins have still been going nuts down here, guys. I don't know what's with the dolphins the last year, but, man, they have just been going crazy. I don't know if our dolphin population has increased or if they're just way more active, but, wow, it's been just beautiful going out and seeing the giant pods of dolphins out there these days. And I mean dolphins like porpoises, not like mahi.
Yeah. Are you, when you're seeing them, is it on the ocean side or is it on the backwater side?
You see them most. Well, I personally see them more than not on the bay side. Ocean side, you see them a lot these days too. Where typically you see one or two swimming along on ocean side or following the boat, you're seeing a pod if you see them.
Wow.
And that's been very true for bayside as well. Instead of just seeing one or two, we're seeing really big pods, and I'm talking, a dozen, 2 dozen big pods.
Wow.
And that's just really, really nice to see. To see them fishing as a group in the backcountry is really, really fun to watch, guys. They have a really interesting technique of pulling up those fish and putting them in a bait ball and then just going at them, and it's really fun to watch. You get the birds overhead. You get to see the fish, the bait popping as they're, going at it. It's really neat. But typically you would only see one or two, and it just seems like for the last year, if you see one, you see 12 of them following you. And it's just amazing. They've been dancing in the water in the wakes behind the boats, and you really can't beat that, guys. You have a bad day of fishing and have these dolphins put on a show for you at the end of the day, you forget about everything.
Oh, yeah. There were a couple of experiences that I had down in the Keys with dolphins. This one experience, it was 3 of them, and one was on the starboard, one was on I'm having a brain fart. I can't think of the other side of the boat. Starboard? And then the poor one. Lord have mercy. Anyway, this is joys of getting older. You can't remember what you did when you walked in the room. So anyway, there was one on either side of the boat and one in the front of the boat. And I had, my brother was with me, and I had him driving the boat, and I decided to get up on the bow of the boat. It's a very smooth day. There was hardly any waves out. There weren't any fish going around. I typically find that if the dolphins show up, the fish disappear. So I decided I had a video camera with me. I wanted to get a video shot of them because nobody was going to believe what I was seeing. I looked down, and these fish are swimming, these mammals are swimming upside down, looking at me, and we're cruising along at, I don't know, maybe 10 knots or so. We were pulling bait, so we weren't just, idling. We were above idle. And they have this look to them almost as though they're smiling. And it was the most amazing thing to see these 3 swimming along side of parallel to the boat, and then the one in the front looking up at me, and with this appears to be a smile on their face. It's just awesome. It was very, very awesome. I got a video of it, but you couldn't see, when you shoot through the water, you couldn't see them very clear. It wasn't the same as being there, but you could see that they were there swimming alongside the boat and in front of the boat. Amazing sight to see, but my experience is when they show up, the fish disappears. Have you experienced that, Angelia?
Well, that's an absolute fact. They absolutely will follow the fishing boats out. And they love the head boats. They love to follow the head boats out. And because they know that you're going to be hooking a lot of fish, they would never bite a hook. And don't ask me how they're so smart that they would never actually eat your bait on the hook. But as you're pulling fish up from the bottom, they absolutely see that as an opportunistic free meal. And
Here comes lunch.
And I have taken on head boats where they will follow you. The captain will get frustrated to pull anchor, go to another spot, and that dolphin will follow you to the next spot and destroy your day of fishing. So, yeah, if you have a dolphin in the area and you're actually trying to actively fish, probably not going to happen.
Not going to happen. That and the barracudas. Oh, my gosh. The experience with the barracudas down there in the Keys, there's another one that follow, and what they do is they hide under your boat where you can't see them.
You're exactly right. And really another neat experience is we're yellowtailing off the stern of the boat, and somebody's got a nice big fat yellowtail on, so you get excited, and all of a sudden that fish starts pulling 5 times as hard, and you're going, what the heck? Get it up behind the boat, and you've got a barracuda with that fish just perfectly perpendicular in its mouth, just hanging on.
Yep.
Totally hanging on. So they definitely will attack your fishing venture as well. Between the porpoises and the barracuda and the sharks down here, we definitely have our obstacles, but we're so used to it.
It is.
You know what? I think about a barracuda story. I remember somebody was scraping barnacles off the bottom of a boat in Fort Lauderdale a bunch of years ago, and barracuda saw the flash of that scraper and came and it bit him right in the back of the shoulder. And let's just say it's not the cleanest mouth you want to get bit by. So Yeah, they are.
There's some
ferocious.
crazy barracuda stories out of the Keys. Years ago, there was a lady, I think they were fishing. This thing jumped out of the water and happened to hit her in the head, knocked her out, and jumped out of the water, hit her, and knocked her out. And ended up in the hospital. Yeah, there's some crazy stories of barracudas. They're just, one of those. To me, they're like kind of like a torpedo in the water. They are so fast. In the blink of an eye, they'll be 1 second in one area, and then blink of an eye, they're gone, and they're over somewhere else. I don't know if there's a fish that moves quite as fast as a barracuda. What do you think? A wahoo? Do you think a wahoo's faster than a barracuda? Well, maybe out in the open ocean they are. Yeah.
You know, from what I've understood, our yellowfin tuna would be the fastest fish, and from what
Really?
I also understand, go 50, 60 miles per hour.
Holy smokes.
They're muscle. But we have so many fast fish down here, and as far as the barracuda go, I would never touch a barracuda to eat it, and I definitely aren't going to kill any fish that I'm not going to eat. But some of the best and most amazing fights trolling have been with 5 and 6 foot barracuda.
Yeah.
They dance on the surface of the water. They do all kinds of aerial acrobatics on the line. They're absolutely magnificent to catch, and I've had so much fun catching them. And of course, I catch and release because I'm not going to eat them. But wow, what a wonderful sport fish to catch for somebody who's never really had something like that on the end of the line.
It's a scary looking fish, right?
They are
It's a scary looking thing.
Barracuda teeth are menacing, guys.
Yeah,
Okay, kingfish teeth are bad. Wahoo fish are the worst because they're like razor blades, but kingfish teeth are menacing. I would not want to get bitten by a kingfish.
Wow.
And I have to tell you, Angelia, you are like the Google of fish world. I always have a laptop, and I just looked up yellowfin tuna. They swim 50 to 60 miles an
Isn't
hour.
that amazing?
Wahoo 50 miles an hour, barracuda 36. And I'm just going to look up like these things, and your face is going to come up from now on.
According to Angelia.
It's going to be forget Google. It's going to be Angelia.com.
It won't be.
Remember when I watched many ocean documentaries? But I've had this really weird point of view. Like when I started trolling and I started thinking about putting baits in the water and I started thinking about making lures. You really want to, presentation down here is everything. Our water is so clear. If your presentation does not look like bait fish, it's not going to work. So I have this little thing that I call think like the fish. And I try to think of what this fish is looking at and what he sees and how fast they go and how they migrate and how they swim and how they strike the baits. And I've just done way too much research, Carolyn.
Well, here's what's something that's crazy. We talk about kite fishing, and Mike Simcoe, you and I are going to crash him. And I just looked up sailfish. Sailfish top speed 70 miles per hour.
Holy smokes.
So when they're crashing those baits, they're crashing them hard.
Wow. I had no idea these fish were that fast. Wow.
Oh, they're very fast. Very fast, Roscala. Faster than you would possibly think. When one will go in front of it, but when you're trolling and you're keeping your boat, let's say I'm trolling at about 9 knots and I get a hook up by a fish, and I only take the boat down to about 6 knots while I'm working that fish in and pulling in the other lines. Sometimes your fish will run in front of the boat. I mean, it gets panic stricken when it sees the boat, and it'll run in front of the boat, which is my preference for an open fisherman, because then you can walk around the boat still playing with them, fighting them. But some of these fish are amazingly fast, and if you think about our particular, everything from blackfin, yellowfin, bluefin, which we don't get the bluefin down here, guys, but those fish are nothing but muscle. I mean, they're just one big torpedo of a muscle. They can cut through the water. Their tails are insane. I'll tell you how my little experience where I know how strong the tails are. I did a women's fishing tournament up in Virginia Beach a few years ago, and I actually won the Calcutta for the largest yellowfin. I was very happy about that. But here I am, barefoot, this little Florida girl up in Virginia, and we finally get this 68-pound yellowfin on the deck, and it did one last smack that anybody who catches tuna knows, that tuna quiver and that smack that they'll do of their tail on the deck. But that smack of that tail hit the top of my bare foot, and oh my goodness, the whole top of my foot swelled up, turned red. you would not believe how powerful these fish are.
Wow.
They're just one big solid muscle. So I would go with, like, I didn't know about the sailfish, Carolyn, you got me there, but I know tuna are awfully big, guys. They will cut it. They will get it.
All right,
Yeah,
we are.
absolutely. And, you know,
I gotta stop you, Carolyn, because we're rapidly running out of time. We're down to about 50 seconds. If you want to find out more about Angelia, you can find her online. She is known as the Florida Salty Cowgirl. Angelia, thank you. Greatly appreciate it. Wish you an awesome day, my friend. Carolyn, thank you for being co-host this morning. Give you an opportunity to say goodbye to Angelia, and it's gone for this today. I can't believe how fast it's gone. So long, everybody.
Absolutely. So long, Angelia, and member of the Pink Ladies team.
Absolutely. See you soon.
All aboard!